What do we do? The First T Life Skills experience is the hallmark of the First T program. It's a research-proven curriculum that generates positive outcomes in young people who participate in our program. It's comprised of a few different things. First of all, golf, which we are probably most known for, teaching essentials of putting, chipping, pitching, and full swing to young people. But also included in that are the First T 9 Healthy Habits, created in a partnership with the Annika Foundation and the Florida Hospital for Children. The First T Life Skills, which are a specific set of lessons that are geared towards positive youth development, and the First T 9 Core Values, which are essentially the foundation of the work that we do. As mentioned on the previous slide, the First T 9 Core Values are the foundation of the work that we do. They're taught at our entry player level program and reinforced throughout all of the different levels of the First T program. Those core values are respect, courtesy, responsibility, honesty, sportsmanship, confidence, judgment, perseverance, and integrity. Values that we teach to the First T, but are also inherent to the game of golf. There are 4 general life skills categories addressed through specific life skill techniques that are taught as part of every core lesson. Essentially, core lessons give participants multiple opportunities to be exposed to, experience, develop, apply, and eventually master interpersonal skills, self-management, goal setting, and resiliency skills through specific techniques that can be utilized on and off the golf course. Interpersonal skills involve interactions with others. These skills are taught through progressively advanced techniques that enable participants to introduce themselves properly, carry on a conversation, show respect for rules and other people, ask for and give help, and empathize with others on a basis for resolving conflicts effectively. Self-management involves both internal and external management. Self-management begins with participants becoming aware of their abilities, physical, psychological, and emotional, and their surroundings, environment, and social support, to help them understand what it takes to perform at their best on and off the golf course. Self-management skills are taught at each level through progressively advanced techniques that enable participants to maintain a positive attitude, deal with frustrations, set standards based on their own abilities and preferences, track and modify personal standards, and form and use a support team. Goal setting involves the ability to set and achieve meaningful goals to address internal and external factors that may influence outcomes. Goal setting includes the ability to plan for the future by defining and setting reachable goals, as well as devising plans to achieve these goals and overcome challenges. In the Eagle level, participants set specific goals for achieving and maintaining wellness, as well as learn the process for developing long-term educational and career plans. Resilience skills involve the ability to resist unhealthy behaviors, such as using tobacco, drugs, or alcohol. Resilience also includes how to adapt to challenging circumstances, deal with conflicts without being too passive or too aggressive, and opt for healthy behaviors to include nutritional choices. The overarching emphasis is to teach skills and related techniques that give participants confidence to make their own decisions and succeed in the face of peer pressure or other adversity. Now that we've talked about what we do, let's talk about how we do it and how you're going to do it as a coach of the First T. The First T Coach program focuses on 2 main areas: positive youth development and the First T Coach building blocks. As you can see on this chart here, we've taken those golf skills, life skills, core values, and healthy habits we discussed earlier and covered them up through seamless delivery or seamless integration. The life skills that participants acquire through the First T Life Skills experience can be viewed as personal assets that will help them develop resilience and long-term physical, mental, and social health. The Search Institute, a Minneapolis-based nonprofit research and evaluation organization, has identified 40 such developmental assets, both external and internal, that all youth need to grow to become healthy, competent, and caring adults. External assets include the positive support and experiences that young people receive from other individuals and organizations. External assets model desirable behaviors. They help young people use their time constructively, feel like part of a community, understand what is expected of them, and learn what is in bounds and out of bounds. Internal assets are life skills and attitudes that help youth make wise decisions and build positive relationships. Internal assets include self-empowerment, a sense of purpose, hopefulness, the ability to plan and make decisions, and a sense of integrity and responsibility. The First Tee itself, with its links to the community and core of the First Tee coaches, serves as an external asset for participants. The First Tee Life Skills experience assists participants in acquiring the internal assets they need to succeed both on and off the golf course. The relationships developed with the First Tee coaches and volunteers provide the support and encouragement needed for young people to reach their potential and evolve into responsible adults. The First Tee coach philosophy is implemented through 4 building blocks that are evident in the form of specific coaching strategies and behaviors. As coaches increase their awareness and effectively use these strategies and behaviors, they increase the probability that optimal learning environments are created and positive youth development takes place. For the purposes of this training, we're going to focus on activity-based learning and being mastery-driven. Activity-based. The First Tee coach emphasizes doing versus telling. The First Tee coach mentors and instructs participants in fun, golf-related activities that help them learn new skills used in golf and transfer them to their daily lives. Fun is a product of an environment that encourages participation and enhances self-worth. The first part of this is doing versus telling. The First Tee is about having fun. To hear that golf is fun is very different than actively participating in a fun experience. To promote powerful learning, the First Tee coach typically has participants do an activity and then review that experience with them. This situation is different than many teaching environments in which a coach talks about a skill and then has participants do an activity. The First Tee coach creates activities to engage participants in situations that produce thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, and that illustrate key golf and life skills. The First Tee coach recognizes learning is experiential and structures activities to reflect this belief. Fun and seamless. Participants are more likely to continue in the First Tee life skills experience if they are having fun. Participants' experiences are influenced in part by the First Tee coach's overall view of the program and how well he or she prepares in advance. The First Tee life skills experience is unique because it integrates golf and life skills into one activity. The participants do not come to the First Tee to sit in a classroom and learn life skills before going outside to play golf. The First Tee coach plans accordingly and creates environments where participants learn both golf and life skills within the same fun and seamless activities. Mastery-driven. The First Tee coach creates an environment that encourages participants to focus on their own experiences and seek challenging tasks that help them develop new skill. The First Tee coach helps participants monitor their own progress, allowing them to focus primarily on the process and secondarily on the outcome of the activities. Intention equals attention. It is always important to clarify the intention or purpose of the lesson before each of the First Tee sessions. The First Tee coach helps participants determine what is most important to accomplish and then makes that the focus of their attention. For example, if the intention is for participants to learn how to hold the club, then the First Tee coach's attention, instruction, and feedback should be directed at the hold, not at the shoulder turn or ball flight. Likewise, if the intention is for participants to develop a pre-shot routine for putting, then the First Tee coach's attention, instruction, and feedback should be on the participant's pre-shot routine for putting, not the mechanics of the putting stroke itself. Balancing process versus outcome. The First Tee coach communicates that the process of learning and improving is just as important as the desired outcome. The First Tee participants are assessed and rewarded for improvements based on self-comparison, i.e. V versus my past performances, rather than solely relying on social comparison, i.e. me versus others versus the ideal standard, etc., such as par. For example, if participants want better grades in school, what practices can they engage in to achieve better grades, and how will the First Tee coach reward their progress? In addition, if participants want to increase their percentage of up and downs, what short game skills and practice routines can they employ to achieve their desired outcome? We will now spend the next few minutes reviewing a lesson plan from our summer program this summer. The lesson plan framework remains the same throughout the year, but this will give you an idea of what to be looking for when you receive your lesson plans for your upcoming season. The first page of every lesson plan will always have the session listing at the top, along with the lesson plan number. This will help you as a coach from week to week know which plan is being delivered, particularly if we've had to cancel classes because of inclement weather or for another reason. From that point, you will see the focus of each class. In this case, it's a player level lesson plan we're looking at. In the core value confidence is the core value of the day, and the golf fundamental is distance response. You will see different golf fundamentals throughout the season, and core value may change the life skill depending on the level if you're teaching a par, birdie, or eagle class. From there, we'll move to a warm-up. As a large group, generally we'll do warm-up activities to get the kids moving around and engaged for the day. And at that point, we'll transition into opening questions. After we've done our golf fitness warm-up, we'll review the lesson for the day, again in this case confidence, and we've given some posing questions here. We do encourage coaches to use the questions listed, but also to really respond to the young people in the group and give them the opportunity to self-discover the life skill or the core value for that day. After completing our golf fitness warm-up for the day and posing our opening questions, we move into the activity portion of our day. Each lesson plan generally includes 3 activities for young people to participate in small group settings. The job of the assistant coach is generally to lead one of these small groups through an activity, and depending on the coach or the class, you may rotate with your group or you may stay at the same activity. It'll be important to communicate with your lead instructor ahead of time to make sure you know where he or she would like to have you for the day. This is activity 1, and on the following slides, you'll see diagrams for those activities to help you understand what it should look like, and you'll also see the second activity and the third activity. I'll pause here for a moment on the diagram for the third activity of the day for us to take a deeper dive. What you'll see in front of you is a driving range activity with a safety zone, hitting stations, and targets set up on the range. This is great, first of all, to show you that activities can be set up in a colorful and engaging way if it's something as traditionally simple as hitting balls on a driving range, but also gives us the opportunity to link the activity back to our golf fundamental of the day, distance response. The coach notes are particularly helpful here on distance response because what we want to do is use this activity in linkage with the coach building blocks we've previously discussed to allow the young person to have a seamless, fun learning experience. These questions are great helpers for you, and I'd encourage you to think of your own as you develop your coach skill set. What happens to the ball when you change your club? Which clubs have more or less loft? And how does being confident help you with your distance response? All of these things give young people the opportunity to experience themselves and the activity as they see fit and also learn throughout it. At the end of each class, we will have a 5-minute wrap-up session. This session is intended to reevaluate what we've learned throughout the day as it relates to the golf fundamental as well as the core value or the life skill, and bridge particularly that life skill or core value to outside the golf course, what we call a bridge to life. These question examples that you see in front of you are listed on every lesson plan, and we encourage you to work with the group to continue to explore their thoughts, feelings, and ideas about what they've learned. Continuing down this path of exploring the first tee class, here are things that we ask of participants. Participants should check in when they arrive. They should always meet at the golf course's designated putting green for each class. They should bring their yardage book with their homework assignment completed from the previous week. And if they're early, and there will be kids who show up early, participants should be asked to practice their putting prior to class time on that designated putting green. If participants are late, and unfortunately they will be, we actually ask that participants wait for an appropriate opportunity to join the group. As an assistant coach or a lead coach or a site coordinator, you'll find a nice time between a transition of activities or between a warm-up for young people to come and join the group in a seamless, fun, and encouraging way. Class setup design. If you remember back to the lesson plan we just discussed a few minutes ago, you'll remember there were 3 activities. While each lesson plan generally calls for 3 activities, what we also want to make sure is understood is that each activity also has multiple stations within it. For example, if a class has 20 young people signed up to participate, and we have 3 activities on the lesson plan, each activity would have about 7 stations so that every young person can participate without needing to wait in a line. This helps keep their enthusiasm and excitement high for our program, and more specifically, the character education and the golf fundamentals we are trying to instill or teach them. Coaches should also stay engaged with the group of participants they have throughout the class. The questions that we referenced in the lesson plan will help you create conversations with young people that help them experience and self-discover what we want them to for the day. Confidence and distance response in that earlier example. Also, reiterating the props. The more colorful and visually engaging we can make an activity, the more fun it looks for the kids in our program. It may seem like a little thing, but it makes a world of difference, thinking back again to that driving range activity, when you're hitting balls on a driving range versus hitting balls towards noodles or hula hoops or other things that may be on the range and may make it more fun for kids. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever been at a driving range and tried to hit the guy picking the golf balls up in the golf cart? It's exactly that. It's more fun for everybody. The last one here is very important, and we've not previously discussed it. It's that parents should observe but not participate. The First Tee Life Skills experience is very specific in how we deliver programs and also what we teach. And it's important that if parents want to participate as coaches, that they receive the same training that you are. This will help us build a stronger kid and reinforce what they're teaching at home. Again, it may seem like a little thing, but if you've taken the time to do this training, I would hope that you would encourage them to do the same. Role of the First Tee Coach. There are 3 major jobs for the First Tee Coach. The first is to create curiosity through fun and seamless activities. The second is to keep participants engaged at all times throughout the class. And the third is to motivate participants so they want to learn the new skill through positive reinforcement. A few things we can do as the First Tee coaches to help a child have a better experience in our program are these things. For starters, let's show rather than tell. Let's model the skill for them, or more specifically, let's use peer models so they can better see the picture as it relates to a game or activity or a skill we're trying to teach. Secondly, let's have kids experiencing activities. What that means is we want to create maximum practice opportunities within each game for a young person to learn. Also, thinking back to our coach building blocks of mastery-driven and activity-based, we want to encourage self-discovery and self-improvement within these games and activities. We're not going to tell a young person exactly how to hold the club or exactly how to swing it, but more importantly, we're going to ask those questions we previously discussed to help lead them in a direction that might be beneficial for them. In the end, it's up to each young person to decide to which level they're comfortable participating, or more specifically, how many different ways they want to try to accomplish the goal or the game of the activity. And lastly, match the activity to the child, not the child to the activity. What this means is that from time to time, and within your classes, you may have to modify activities to make them easier or harder for a young person based on their skill set.